Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Tactical Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at. So we got overall NASDAQ market pulling back right now during the extended hours. For those that are a little bit newer, NASDAQ futures begin to trade pretty much midday on Sunday. So this gives us a sense of direction of where the market, if the stock market were to open right now, the NASDAQ market would be down 0.31%, right? So 0.31%. That means that TQQQ would be down 1% and SQQQ would be up 1%, right? Because they're triple leveraged. If you have any stock that you would like me to break down in this video, please feel free to share it in the live chat. Friendly reminder, you do have to be subscribed to the YouTube channel to participate in the live chat. And again, hopefully we can earn your thumbs up in this video and make sure that you guys subscribe. But very quickly, I just wanted to give a quick overall recap while you guys begin to share whatever stock you want me to break down. On the 4-hour time frame, overall NASDAQ market still trading above the moving average, still trading above the EMA. One thing that I personally like to do is just, again, remind myself of that sense of direction of where the market currently is at. Looks like we've been struggling to make new highs for overall NASDAQ market. We also did see that the NASDAQ or the overall market is beginning to factor in a potential rate hike for the next FOMC meeting. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we begin to enter a nice little pullback to the moving average on NASDAQ, which would mean that if this actually begins to sell off towards the moving average, that means that there is a lot of growth potential for SQQQ if we get that confirmation, right? Because the NASDAQ market was originally going up because they expected that the Federal Reserve was going to pause rate hikes, but now there supposedly is a 93% probability that the Federal Reserve is going to announce a rate hike of 1/4 basis point. So we'll just have to follow up and check it out as time goes on, right? I do want to remind you that, again, we are running our sell for LPP. So if you want to be able to watch me trade live every single day, as soon as tomorrow, I'm going to be going live right at market open. I'd love to have you watch me trade live, and then that's the second link in the description down below, and that should automatically apply $175 off LPP 2.2. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I see a lot of people asking for me to break down Tesla. Overall, again, as of right now, just my 2 cents on this 4-hour time frame. I think that it's safe to say this overall rally that Tesla has had recently is insane. 85% based off of 151 and our current highs of nearly $300 a share. Tesla is not necessarily showing any indication of a pullback just yet. We have been consolidating here, and normally when it consolidates, right, it's showing signs of a resistance, but we haven't confirmed that we're actually pulling on back or that we're breaking below the EMA line and then retracing back down to the moving average. So just like any strong rally, pullbacks do happen along the way. Again, it's just the way that I see it as a long-term investor. It's just, especially if I have no intention of selling Tesla anytime soon, then allow it to sell off, and that's just a better price point that I can get it at, for the overall long term. So as of right now, direction is very unclear. We talk about this in LPP where there's, clear direction when it's very bullish, clear direction when it's very bearish, and then consolidation. Right now it's still uncertain, so anytime something is uncertain, then again I prefer to stay cash during that time. So that's just my 2 cents. So let's go ahead and break down NVDA. So you guys know my opinion on NVDA. Ever since NVIDIA announced their quarterly earnings and talked about AI, NVIDIA gapped up like $300 billion in market cap, right? Putting it at that $1 trillion market cap. So again, it went from 300, now trading at 439. And honestly, it's been quite impressive how well it's been holding. I think it's going to be very interesting to see that if the NASDAQ market does begin to sell off, nothing wrong with NVIDIA, right? But if the NASDAQ market does begin to sell off in response to a potential rate hike from the Federal Reserve, to see how NVIDIA, if it ends up correcting itself just a little bit, still holding above the moving average, or if it corrects itself enough and then it begins to gap down on everything that it gained from $300. But obviously it's gained so much from 300 to now current highs of 425. But again, there is no indication of a reversal just yet, right? It's still holding above EMA. It's still holding above the moving average. For me, it's a little bit too overbought for my taste, right? That's just my criteria. And because of that, I just would prefer not to trade something at these overbought levels because the risk to reward ratio risk is much greater than my potential reward, and at least that's the way that I see it, right? Obviously, if your intention is a little bit different, right, if you intend to hold it for a long period of time, then that's up to you. I just would prefer to get something for a deal, and I just don't see NVIDIA at a deal at 425. But you guys let me know in the comment section or in the live chat what you think about it. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So again, if you want me to break down your top stock, all I literally ask you to do is to type it in the live chat. And just remember, you do have to be subscribed to the channel to partake in the live chat. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about BABA. So a lot of people are asking about Alibaba. It looks like it's trying to gap up. You guys let me know what you think, but it looks like almost every single time that it tries to gap up, it ends up getting rejected and it sells right back down, right? A strong rally, a strong dip, strong rally, strong dip. So I don't know if this is just a common pattern for Alibaba. I haven't traded Alibaba in a while, but it looks like it doesn't hold very well at overbought levels, right? And it's very easy to see that. So the way that I would see this is, I missed the push, right? And now we're going back to retest previous highs. It's not that it can't continue to indicate signs of an uptrend, as anything can continue to happen, right? But it's overbought enough that, again, the risk to reward ratio for me, it's too overbought. It doesn't meet my criteria. And based off of previous patterns, it tends to pull back. And because of that, I'm taking that risk into consideration. I would have to hold back from buying something like Alibaba as of right now. But let me know in the comment section real quick. Alrighty. Okay, so it sounds like Alibaba recently had great news. Okay, that's good to hear. Let's go ahead and do T. Yeah, I haven't done a breakdown on T in a while, so this is AT&T. Okay, so it looks like AT&T recently has been a strong, consistent descending pattern. It's showing a lot of signs of consolidation here, which normally is showing signs of a potential support. But because it's been so bearish, again, you guys let me know in the comment section. But to me, anytime that I see this much consolidation and it's coming from a descending pattern, to me, it's not worth the risk, right? Direction is not favorable, right? We use this analogy with our LPP traders. Imagine yourself trying to swim back to shore, right? In the ocean, do you want the current of the waves to be against you or with you, right? It's still going to be challenging regardless of which way you choose, but it's going to be much more challenging if the current of the waves are against you, right? The same thing with this. It's still going to be challenging to trade, but if direction is in your favor and it's actually indicating signs of an uptrend, you're at least, again, making it easier on yourself. Still challenging, but definitely much easier when direction is favorable and direction is clear. So because of that, AT&T just wouldn't meet my criteria as of right now. Let's go ahead and do CRM. What's going on? I appreciate you taking time and asking for me to break this down. So this would be quite the opposite of AT&T. It's been extremely bullish, so I see why you're paying attention to this. Based off of recent patterns, it went from lows of 126, currently at highs of 200. My only thing now is that it's showing so much signs of consolidation for the past couple of weeks, at least for me. That's just not something that I want to have an open position on. It's not super bullish, it's not super bearish based off of recent patterns, and because of that, I don't want to be caught in the middle of something that might pop off or might actually begin to sell off. I would like direction to be a little bit more clear, and because of that, I personally would not partake in CRM. So stock market is dropping. Are you saying that it's going to drop tomorrow? So Quirky, we just covered NASDAQ futures, which again they're trading right now, and NASDAQ futures are where the current market is right now, and NASDAQ market is down to 0.28%. So that means that TQQQ, if the market were to open right now, it would be down about 1%. So thank you for asking. ENPH, yeah, let's go ahead and break that one down. ENPH. I appreciate you asking me to break this one down. We got Jesus. Appreciate that. So based off of recent patterns, consistent lower highs, lower lows. I mean, very easy to see. Very easy to see how this thing hasn't been indicating any signs of an overall uptrend. I mean, I can set my alert for the sake of it, But if it's been doing one thing good, that's losing money, right? From overall highs of 335, consistent lower highs, lower lows. Again, I don't feel like my job should be to predict the future. My job should be just to react. And when I have confirmation and indication of an uptrend, again, making sure that I make the conditions that I choose to trade in easier for myself, right? And because of that, you guys can see that I have, I can just keep my alerts there. If it actually begins to indicate signs of an uptrend on the day chart, then I can revisit this. Until then, I would rather not touch something that, again, is not indicating signs of an uptrend. So let's go ahead and break down Amazon. This is from Austin. Austin, I appreciate you taking time and tuning on in. Here we go. So Amazon, based off of recent patterns, obviously a very strong rally from lows of $81 to current highs of around $130. A lot of consolidation, just like the rest of the NASDAQ market. If the NASDAQ market begins to sell off, most likely Amazon will as well. Do I feel like this rally has been missed? Well, again, it all depends on what NASDAQ market begins to do. If they begin to factor in a new rate hike and then the NASDAQ market begins to sell off because it expects the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates on the next FOMC meeting, then yes, I do believe that Amazon could potentially pull on back. So why would I buy at 129 if I could potentially buy at a better price point? That's the way that I look at it. So as of right now, it's rallied enough and it's overbought enough that for me, it just doesn't meet my criteria up here. And you're going to hear a lot of that for most of tech right now. It's just too overbought for my taste, that I would like to see the market correct itself a little bit and then revisit the idea of what stocks I actually want to buy into, even trade and or invest long term when they're a little bit cheaper, right? When they actually begin to correct themselves a little bit. So let me go ahead and do two more stocks. I'll break down and we'll leave it at that. So again, we will be trading live tomorrow right at market open. And if you want to tune on into tomorrow's live trading session, just a friendly reminder, it is going to be the second link in the description down below. So isn't there a CPI data report coming soon? That is correct. It's this week. I will be live streaming it. I know I'm going to be live streaming it for the LPP team, and it's going to be on July 12th. So I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday of this upcoming week. So in just a couple of days. So it's going to be Wednesday of this week at 8:30 a.m., which is 1 hour before the market opens. So great question, which again, that will overall most likely influence the market depending on if inflation is coming in hotter, higher, right, or lower than expected. So very excited to follow up. So can you break down Mara? Of course. What's going on, Alexis? Let's go ahead and break that one down. So Mara, based off of recent patterns, looks like it's had a nice little rally. Mara, if I'm not mistaken, has been a stock that gets really hyped up, right? Yeah, if I remember correctly, I remember this was like a pump and dump. I personally don't trade these. I have found myself to get more burned on these kind of like lower cap stocks. They're extremely volatile. So if you suck at locking in profits or if you suck at risk management, I mean, in my opinion, this is not something that you would probably want to partake in. But again, it's all up to you. It looks like every time that it rallies, it pumps right back down. And as you can see, based off of recent patterns, every time that it rallies, it dumps, rallies, dumps, rallies, dumps. So because of that, again, if you're green and or if you're in the green with this, I personally would not hesitate, to take the risk of holding something longer than based off previous patterns than it's done before. But again, it's all up to you. I ultimately just prefer not to trade stocks like this. It doesn't meet my risk to reward ratio. It's too risky for me, but I know a lot of people that do choose to trade stocks like this. So if that's something you want to do, all power to you. To me, it's just too risky, and that's just my opinion. So let me go ahead and just do one more breakdown, and then we will call it a live. I actually want to follow up. I like that you asked me to break down TGT. After its backlash, right? TGT has sold off through after that controversial section that I think they had in stores. It looks like it still has not been able to recover. It's still trading below the EMA. First off, in my opinion, TGT hasn't even been trading the best based off of recent patterns, right? It had a really strong performance for 2020 and 2021, but it looks based off of recent patterns, it's been selling off and forming lower highs and lower lows. So even with what just recently happened, I don't think it's too significant, but I have my alert set. If this thing actually begins to indicate signs of reversal, I would love to revisit that idea. But as of right now, the cheap can always get cheaper. This thing can continue to sell off. And why would I try to predict or find the bottom of something that might not have even bottomed out yet, right? And that's just from my experience. I make this mistake so often, and I'm not here to pretend like I don't, and I'm just sharing it because I know probably a lot of you make the same mistake as well. And it's the bad habit of always trying to buy at the lowest price point, but then the cheap just always gets cheaper. So again, how can we fix that? We just try to work on building healthy habits, right? Instead of trying to find the bottom of something, I would rather be late to a rally than early to a sell-off. That's the best example that I can give you, that I always try to preach to our LPP team, right? And it's just working on being aware of what those bad habits are that you tend to implement. And I know for me, that was one I know when I first got started. So let me know what you guys think about that. But other than that, again, I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I'd love to have you for tomorrow's live trading session. If you want to tune on in, it's the second link in the description down below. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access. It's $175 off. There will not be a bigger discount than that, so just a little heads up on that. And also, anything when it comes down to your trading tees, anything when it comes down to wall art for your trading office, and or mouse pads and accessories is all available at shoptechbuds.com or the fourth link in the description down below. I do want to remind you that if you place your first order and use promo code HUSTLE, it will get you an additional 15% off. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope and wish you guys an amazing Sunday. I hope that you guys had an amazing weekend. I just sent out a little message to the LPP team in effort to prepare for tomorrow's live trading session. So if you end up joining our team or if you're part of LPP, set your alarms for market open tomorrow. I will be going live and I hope to see you there. And again, it's the second link in the description down below. Appreciate your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year